A boy was found on the farm, running on the farm, and he was running scared until he was found by the farmer. And the farmer asked, "Little man, what's going on? Why are you running?" And he said, "Please help me. There's a snake coming after me." And the farmer asked him the question, "Where is your parents?" He didn't ask, "Where's the snake so I could kill it?" He asked, "Where is your parents? Where are your people?" Because the farmer understood that separation comes before the snake. And that is what we're going to be talking about on today. Welcome back to my Darling Bride podcast with the Yemlos. On this podcast, we dig, discover, and deploy biblical gems for the building or rebuilding of kingdom homes and relationships.
Yes, we are on a mission to equip couples on how to build on a rock-solid foundation, cultivate a culture of honor and respect, invest intentionally and consistently in your marriage or your relationship, defend your union, and lastly, empower one another towards purpose fulfillment.
Equipped to bride. This is where love meets legacy, but like we like to say, this is where real love meets real talk. We got a good one for you on today. Let's get it. All right, so today we're talking about what happens when distance enters into the relationship.
Yes.
What happens when separation really enters into the relationship. The analogy that we started with, I thought it was powerful because you could find the boy lost and alone and afraid, right? And afraid for his life, if you will, because there was a snake attack, right? And he started running, and then somebody, by the grace of God, found him and asked, "Why are you running? What's going on?" And he was like, "I'm running for my life. There's a snake coming after me, blah, blah, blah." And the man said, "Where are your people?
Yeah.
Where is your husband?
Yeah.
Where is your mom? Where's your dad? Where are you? Why
Why
are you
you're
separated
alone right now? Exactly.
Why are you separated? Because sure, we can kill the snake, but it doesn't solve the problem of the fact that you are separated. If it's not the snake, it's something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because again, the Bible talks about the snake was the one who came after Eve, but it could have been anything else.
Yeah.
It could have been literally any other animal.
Right.
Right?
So like the focus today, and
Yes.
for those that are just joining us, if you didn't see last week's episode, we have been dealing with love lessons using case studies in the Bible.
From the Bible.
And we've been using Adam and Eve as our case study, and we're continuing that conversation. We started about what the original design of marriage should be like. And that's what we talked about last time.
Marriage before the fall.
Marriage before the fall. And now we're picking it up. We're moving on along in the story. And we're picking it up from what happened before, even before, more so even before the fall happened. And we realized that in that scripture, Genesis 1, I think is one,
Genesis 2.
Genesis 2, 1-3, you see that Eve found herself alone. And that's really what we're discussing today, right? And we're trying to connect it to our practical lives in 2026 and how it applies to us. So really the question, and I like the last part you said when it said, the snake found her, but really is how did she even get there in the first place? Where is Adam in all of this conversation in the first place? And that's really what we want to deal with, is what caused the separation, the distance between them, as to why she was by herself when the serpent came to her. Because maybe if she wasn't, maybe that would have happened. You know, maybe if she wasn't by herself, maybe Adam would have been like, "Girl, let's go. Don't talk to this. Don't talk to this serpent. Don't talk to this devil. Don't get distracted. Don't let him get in your head." And I love that too, because it wasn't the serpent that ended up giving Adam the apple either. It was Eve, the one he trusted, the one the bone of his bone and the flesh of his flesh.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So the serpent knew exactly what it was doing. It chose Eve as his target. The question is not even about the serpent. The question is about Eve. How did you get yourself vulnerable to be the target for the serpent?
You see, the thing we got to understand is this. When it comes to marriage, relationship, right? First of all, we talked last week about God's design for marriage.
What marriage is supposed to be.
You know, and when you look at again, using Adam and Eve as case study, right? And we're talking about separation, particularly as to one of the reasons as to why the fall happened.
Exactly.
Right? We got to look at what separation does in marriage.
Yeah.
Understanding that separation in marriage was not God's original design. Let's start there. There's nowhere in the Bible, in the beginning of what we talked about last week, that said it pleased God for man to be alone. No.
Right.
God, the Bible said, and God saw that man was alone, and he said it was not good.
Yes.
And so to begin with, Eve's separation was not good.
Yes.
You know? And like you were saying, what would have happened if Adam was there? Well, we know exactly what would have happened, because the Bible tells us in the New Testament that a cord of three, it said a cord of two is hard to break, but a cord of three, now that, you know, because there's power in numbers, there's power in togetherness.
Yeah.
When we are one, it's easy to overtake, to overpower, right? But when we are two,
we have a little bit of defense.
And we come together, it's what the Bible says. One may be able to chase 1,000, but two will put 10,000 to flight.
Yeah.
Essentially saying that when you're together, the power of two comes in play.
Yes.
You are not easily penetrated.
Yes.
And that leads me to my first point about separation. What happens when distance come in the picture? Well, there's a crack.
There's a crack.
That's number one.
You got a crack in your building.
There's a crack.
Yeah.
Because what we see here is not just physical separation. It's also, I can't even say it's mental separation or emotional separation. You could probably pin it as spiritual separation. But there was some form of separation in that. Eve did not understand that conversation should not be happening. And I want to kind of pause right quick and say something, and I don't know how it would be received, but I have to say it. Eve didn't understand that conversation should not be happening. That in and of itself.
She knew it shouldn't be, but she didn't understand it.
She did not know.
It was communicated to them.
That what?
That they shouldn't eat the apple from the tree of.
It was communicated to who? It was communicated to who? Right? That's number one. Who got the instruction?
Right.
And then who shared the instruction?
Right. Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, apart from who got the communication, who shared the communication, it's the idea of Eve didn't know that she should not be engaging in conversation with the serpent. Where I'm going is this. There are some people we should not be talking to.
Yeah.
There are some conversations we should not be having.
Yes.
Like, we're here. Why are you there?
Yes.
This is the level that God has brought you on, and the kind of conversation and the kind of people that you should be conversing with. Why are you there? Why are you there talking to the serpent?
Yes.
You don't belong.
You're not in the same.
You know what I'm saying? This conversation should never be happening.
Yeah.
But because we are separated, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Because if Adam was there, I could have told you. Why are you even having this conversation with the serpent?
You know, I mean, wow, yes, that makes a lot of sense, and I almost want to take it from a different angle as well, right?
Okay.
I understand that she wasn't the one that got the direct instruction.
Yes.
It was communicated to her, and sometimes that is okay. Right? Because now, remember, we're talking about marriage. And I want to use the example of ministry, for example.
Okay.
When you marry a pastor, case and study, the calling doesn't come directly to you, the wife, right? Most of the time, sometimes it does go to the wife. Sometimes it does go. But I could use our for example, I could use us for an example. I didn't get the calling from God. I knew I was going to be in ministry. I knew that was the trajectory my life was going. I didn't know in what capacity, nor did I know my husband would be a pastor, right? But he got the calling, which meant indirectly, I got the calling too.
Yeah.
So whenever he got the calling and the assignment, it was communicated to me. Now, did I receive some communications as well? I did.
Yes.
But most of the communication on the calling was transferred, excuse me, from him to me.
Yes.
And that is okay.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, yes, the instruction was not communicated to Eve directly, but I cannot use it as an excuse for her not knowing what she was supposed to do and not do. Hear me. The reason why I want to take it that angle, or take it to that angle as well, is because a lot of times we as Christians, Christ followers, we like to make excuses for some of our
actions,
behaviors.
Okay.
And then we say, oh, well, we didn't know, but you did know. Now, you made a choice because it was just how you felt, maybe on emotion. You made a choice because you felt you wanted to do what you wanted to do. That's the reason why that conversation happened. So, and the reason why I want to take it that angle is because I feel like you have situations where people know the right thing to do, but because it doesn't fit into the picture of what it looks like. She was curious about the apple.
Yes.
She was curious about the tree. All she needed was for somebody to paint a picture to her or to convince her otherwise. If not, it would have been a shutdown of, excuse me, I got the instruction, I don't. And then it could also be that, before we go, I don't want to lose the train of thought.
Okay.
It could also be that the reason why she was a little bit more easily convinced is because for Adam, and the serpent probably knew this too, not going directly to Adam was a tactic because Adam had been dwelling in the presence of God for a longer time. So his relationship with God was more seasoned than Eve's relationship with God.
Yes.
So therefore, she's probably still in her babe phase. So it's easily for her to get distracted by different things in the world.
Thank you. Now,
that's where I was going.
No, I got you. Now, if we were a lawyer, right? If we were both lawyers and we were in the court and we were making a case for this plaintiffs and defendants situation, right? What you just did, right? You gave me a what do you call it? Slap the ball up and,
I tagged you in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't really tag me in, but you just played yourself.
How did I play myself?
Let me explain it to you.
I gave two different angles.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I gave two different angles because number one, I put responsibility on Eve in the sense of making the choice to stand there and listen, knowing that's not what she was supposed to do. Because she might not have gotten the direction from God, but she had the instruction from her husband.
Okay.
So she had that responsibility on her already.
Okay.
But then I also gave her grace a little bit on the fact that she might still be a babe in Christ. So therefore, she has a little bit of leeway.
Okay, so pause. Now, here is the problem. Everything you said is wonderful. And it's
real.
Valid.
It's practical. It happens.
And it's real.
Right.
It's practical. And it's real life. But here's the thing. Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about what happens when separation comes in the picture.
Yes.
Shuri. Because you see, here it is. Listen. Right or wrong, right? Right or wrong. I'm asking y'all, I'm asking you. Right or wrong, there is such a thing as first-hand communication and second-hand communication.
Absolutely. Yes.
There are times where we've watched videos on social media where the guy would whisper a word into the lady's ears, right? She would hear it clearly, whisper it to the next person, and then the next person says,
and it's a complete, by the time they get to the end of the line, they don't say something else.
The 10th person, the 20th person is a completely different statement that it's not even related.
Right.
So Eve got the instruction from God. First-hand communication.
Adam.
Adam.
Right.
If we don't know.
We don't know.
If Adam did, in fact, communicated it to Eve.
He did.
The Bible didn't say.
When she took the apple to him, he questioned it.
Well, yes.
Because.
But if, right?
Okay.
Let's make the case that he did, right? Hey, you're new in this town. You know, we have a rule here. God gives us instruction. There are certain things we can and cannot do. Certain things we can and cannot eat. You know what I mean? Here's what he said, right? Now, at this time, we can make the assumption that we don't have things to write down. At this time, we can make the assumption that, yes, Adam was seasoned in Christ, but he himself was still a babe in Christ, in God, right? And so it's possible that he heard God, but it still came to him somewhat as a mystery. The translation, that is. And
so his communication
to Eve may have not been verbatim.
Right.
Word for word, this is what God said.
That's possible.
Now, so in my paraphrase, I say, well, I think he said we shouldn't eat A, B, C, and D. I got you. There was
no conviction on
the
matter.
So there was no conviction to begin with. Because, and how do I know? I know this because the serpents came and said, did God really say that? No, I heard,
Eve was like,
I heard what he said, but if we look at the translation and the interpretation of this and that, I mean, we could really say that maybe this is what he meant. Did God really say? Did he really say? Did he really say? And Eve started to say, well,
Adam, my husband
when you
said.
put it like that,
right.
Okay, that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Again, all of that scenario only happened because there was separation.
Yes. There was a crack already.
There was an exam. There was an exam, a professional exam that myself and my wife had to take, right? And we studied for this thing together. We quizzed ourselves together. We did exam practices together. And it was tough, right? What we find every time we were doing the practice exam, separately, we did well, but we did better when we did it together.
Yeah.
Because on the things that I wasn't sure on, I could easily turn and say, babe, do you remember this question?
Yeah.
Isn't it this?
Yeah.
Or is it that?
Yeah.
And together we would say, no, because if you do this, you do that, you see that this doesn't apply, that doesn't apply, so it must be this.
Yeah.
And boom, that's the right answer. There is power when we come together.
Yes.
So even if it wasn't clear, and the serpent came and started to whisper rubbish in our ears, I could easily say, babe, hold on, no.
I was even going to say that. She could have said, wait a minute. Adam.
Exactly.
You know? What's going on?
You know? And so Adam would have been like, let me check the Constitution.
So there was a discord somewhere.
Yes. To begin with.
Yeah.
There was a discord in communication. There was a separation in communication. There was a separation in understanding of the assignment and the mission and the vision.
Yes.
There was not collective togetherness between them to begin with. And that's why, you see, the serpent exploited a crack that he already saw to begin with.
Yes.
Why am I here and you all the way over there?
Yeah.
And again, remember, we're not just talking physical now.
Right, exactly. That's the way you got to think about it.
Because I could be in Nigeria and you're in America and we're still together. Yet, I could be in the same house under the same roof and we're very separated because we're not seeing eye to eye. We're not seeing the same thing. We're not thinking the same way. We're not speaking the same way.
Yeah, a lot of things really could have been handled better and in a different way if there was togetherness.
So that's number one.
Yeah.
Separation creates a crack.
Yes. Distance.
Or better yet, I would say it widens the crack.
It widens the crack. The crack is already there.
It widens the crack.
Okay.
It gives room for the devil to come in.
Yes.
It communicates open doors.
Yeah.
Or at least slightly unlocked doors.
Yeah.
Unlocked doors. And with no
permission.
effort, I can easily open it.
It's giving permission. Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing that separation does, it breaks covenant.
That it did. It definitely did. That it did.
You know what I'm saying? Because when we read further into Adam and Eve's story, we find that covenant was broken. Between the man and the woman.
Yes, and between them and
between God. Now, the Bible, as we know it, doesn't really go into details of what happened after the fact. But there are other writings that didn't make it into the Bible, the mainstream Bible, that gives us a bit of insight into what happened between Adam and Eve. Now, we can't trust the credibility of those writings, and that's why they're not in the Bible, but they exist nonetheless. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but in the other writings, there were communications that after Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden, they were separated for some time. Because
so it broke them.
Adam could not believe that happened.
And you don't even have to go that far.
And that's why he came back to God and said,
exactly.
The woman you gave me.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. I was like, you don't even have to go that far, because before they even exited the garden,
oh my goodness,
his first response to God was, it wasn't me. Is this woman that you said I must have? It's my bone and my bone and my flesh. My flesh.
It's like, yo, you could have left her inside of me.
That you see, out of the bound, that spoke from within, because in his mind is like, bro, I wasn't in that situation. She brought it to me and convinced me, and this is my wife. So what do I do in that kind of situation? You know, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, because and things like that. And you got to think about it. Even in today's world, we're talking about eating an apple. It could be something as talking to somebody else and entertaining some kind of flirtatious relationship with somebody else, or entertaining some kind of emotional relationship with somebody else. And that alone can break a trust in a marriage. You don't have to do anything physically for that to affect your home. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So something as simple as that. You know, and it's like, I trusted you because you're my person. You're my woman, you're my man, we're each other's person. And you strayed away and brought discord into our home.
And I love that you said that, because that's a lot of mistake that a lot of people make in the body of Christ, right? Yeah. Where we tend to blame and point fingers at the gift. Your woman is a gift to you. Your job is a gift to you. Your house is a gift to you. Your children are a gift to you. The friendships, the opportunities, the doors that God opens for you, they're all gift to you. It would be ungrateful and very, very childish to then point fingers and say, it is this thing that you gave me that caused it to fall. No, it's not. It's not. It's your separation from God.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking marriage now, so I don't want to even go further in that line of thought. But when we are separated, remember, we're talking about separation
in the marriage
kills covenants. It didn't only mess the covenant between the husband and the wife up, it also messed up covenant between them and God.
Exactly.
Right? It messed up covenant between them and God. Yes. He was like, y'all can't be in the presence of my glory right now.
Yeah.
Right? And why? Because they blamed God for the gift he gave them.
Yeah.
Adam said, it's the woman you gave me.
Yeah.
Eve said, it's the serpent. These were all supposed to be gifts, even the serpent. Even the serpent. And every other animal in the garden.
Yes.
They were all supposed to be gifts to make life easier for the man. But the man then points to those things and says, it's because you gave me a house that I fell into temptation and brought a woman home.
And it's a cop-out.
So if you didn't have a house, you're saying you wouldn't bring a woman to your house?
It's a cop-out.
To your matrimony? Is that what you're saying?
It's a cop-out.
And so you're blaming God for blessing you?
Yeah.
I sleep with a woman in my car because you gave me a car. Huh?
It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out because people don't want to take responsibility for their choices and for their actions. And each one of them had a blame in that situation. It wasn't only Eve that had a blame. The broken cord didn't even start when the serpent approached her. It started from the minute they separated.
Yes.
That's really when it started. So the question is, what happened before that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing separation does, it kills conviction. It kills conviction. You know, when we are no longer together, we don't even know anymore what we're doing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We're lost.
Yeah.
It kills conviction. There's a powerful sense of conviction that we have when we are together.
Yeah.
There's a powerful sense of conviction in who I am and whose I am when we're together. You find it even true amongst friends. You could see a situation where a young lady would go to another school, a convention, another church, somewhere that she's not familiar. And she's sitting there quiet, not saying a word because she's like, I don't know who I am here, or I don't know what I can and cannot do here. So she's calm. A man too goes to a place and he's calm because he's trying to study the environment. But take that same woman, take that same man and put them in their circle, amongst their friends, amongst their coworkers, amongst their people. And they're a completely different person. They know who they are. They are convinced about the love that they have in that circle. They know the role they play in that circle. They talk different. They move different. They walk different because they are convinced. There's a level of conviction that happens when we are together. When we are separated, conviction is killed. You're not so sure anymore. And that's why the serpent was able to whisper lies to the ears of Eve, and she was
easily able to.
Our conviction was killed because she wasn't so sure anymore. If Adam, so what does that mean? It means that when we are together, we have reinforcement. And so where you are unsure, I can give you assurance.
Exactly.
Where I'm unsure, you can give me assurance. We have continuous reassurance in one another. No wonder when we step out there into the word, doing one thing or another, and the word beats us down by talking trash to us. The boss is talking nonsense about you. Co-workers are plotting against you. You know, the lady on the street is cursing at you. It's a crazy word out there. No wonder we're always eager to go home. Because at home, our conviction is reinforced. What we know to be true is reinforced. The love we know to be true is reinforced. The identity that we know to be true is reinforced. Everything we know to be true is reinforced when we are at home or together with our own person or people.
I want us to look at this case study, look at this discussion as a physical representation of what could be happening in your homes. Like you said, it doesn't mean you're physically distant. It doesn't mean now you can't go to work and we have to be together and be glued together. The distance doesn't just happen. It doesn't even start physical most of the time. Emotional distance, spiritual distance, mental distance. You can tell. Distance. You can be in the same room, like you said, and be separated.
Absolutely.
So that is a physical representation of what happens in a lot of homes and marriages where you're not together, you're not one. So if I'm home, I'm with my family, you know, to the outside world, I'm happily married, things are going great or whatever, and I step outside and I'm always so eager to go to work because I just really want to get out of the house because I don't really want to be with my husband. I get to work and I have a work husband, and that's the person I want to keep talking to, and I can't wait to have this conversation with this person and that person. And most of the time it can be harmless because we don't need to get physical for that. We just have that relationship that makes it like that's my person when it shouldn't be. there's already distance in that person's
Crack.
marriage.
There's already a
Because,
crack.
and you see, it was a third party. It was an outside party
Yes.
that widened the crack
Yes.
between them.
Yes.
A lot of times we leave our marriages and our home vulnerable to outside sources and outside people creeping in to what? Destroy what we have built. So we have to be careful. Distance is not just physical. Distance is mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. We have to make sure we have that locked in. Like I said, you could be in 1,000 miles away from each other and still be locked in.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about what I'm doing over here and
Yeah.
what you're doing over there because we're locked in. So it's just a physical representation of what is really happening. So look at it in that lens.
Yeah. And going back to what we were just talking about, separation widens the crack. It didn't create the crack, it widened it.
It widened it, yeah.
Separation breaks covenant, not only between yourself and your spouse, but also between y'all and God.
Yeah.
And then separation kills conviction. Going back, using the example that you just said, right? When your conviction is killed, you start to think your husband doesn't love you anymore, or your wife doesn't love you anymore.
Yeah.
You start
love
to
in the home.
doubt what y'all have because a third party is whispering in your ears. That's a completely different conversation we're going to talk about in a different week. We don't want to jump the gun here. But when we are separated, the things we know to be true gets killed.
Yes.
It kills our conviction. We start to doubt.
Because you've left room
Exactly.
for those things
We start to
come in.
doubt. We start to let people, different voices come into it. The things somebody is
Directly and
saying at
indirectly.
work or at somewhere is getting to you.
Things we're watching
The
and
things
listening
we're watching is getting to you.
Yeah.
And we're separated in our life and in our mind and spiritually and financially, everything in every area. We're separated. And now we are allowing, because what happens many times, and this is going a little too much now, but what happens many times when we separate, we are detaching, right? That's the whole point of separation. Something was once together and is detached, right? What we don't realize is a lot of times those things that were once together and now separated, usually many times find one way or another to fill a void.
Yes.
Because the separation is separating from something. And that thing, the need for that
It's
thing
missing.
is still there.
So that thing is missing.
And
now
so we fill it up
try
with
to find
something
else. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not getting enough attention at home. I'm going to get it somewhere
find it
else.
outside.
This guy or this woman does not love me as much as I'm going to go find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're not being intimate as much. I'm going to find it somewhere else. Like everything that you had when you were together, even though that you are separated now, you're still going to be craving it and wanting to fill that void with something or someone else. Now, that could be anything. It doesn't have to be negative. You could be, buried in book writing, buried in reading your book,
you're watching,
buried in hobbies and television and engagement on social media, buried in like different things, right? It doesn't always have to be negative, but the idea is that when we are separated, we are looking to fill a void. So separation before the fall. What happens when distance comes in the picture?
Yes.
I hope you have been blessed on today. That is all we have for today.
I hope we shared a tip or two. Let me do your part for you. Okay.
I hope we shared a tip or two to help solidify your kingdom union, not only with yourself, but also with others, and most importantly with God on today.
Yes. Don't forget to like, share with your friends, share with your family, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below.
And until next time, be the light,
be the salt,
and remember, all things are possible if you believe.